Hey, what's going on, Chosen? It's chhaviZaine. Just coming on to have a quick discussion with you all. Later on, I will be uploading a reading sometime this evening for those of you who have been waiting. But listen, y'all, there's been so many changes that's happening within me, outside of us as just a collective body. Like, I have to elaborate further on this. I just uploaded a short, but I feel like that was too short. Like, it's just too much to talk about. Many of us have been anticipating this time, right? We knew that eventually the spiritual truths that we have been receiving would have to manifest into the 3D reality where there will be tangible evidence to prove what the Most High, Mother and Father, has already downloaded into our spirits about this matrix, about the individuals that run it, and just about all of the wickedness that's been happening, spiritual warfare, and like where all of this really began. Like, y'all know I've been talking about these things for years now on my channel, and there's many other truth speakers that have been exposing these beings. And of course, we had lots of opposition. We were the conspiracy theorists. We were the fear mongers. We were the ones that, XYZ, whatever. Y'all, right now, the times that we live in, I can only imagine those people who literally was still asleep and resting comfortably in the cradle of the matrix. I can only imagine the level of shock, the level of anxiety, fear, like the thoughts that must be running through their mind, the questions they must have and consider. You know where they're going to end up going now that they have really been awakened to what's been going on with the whole GOV mental structure. Okay, let me tell y'all this real quick. I have to be very, very careful with what I say now. The chosen seed, you have to be very, very careful with how you articulate your words now, right now. Because there are specific tools that have been used to measure the frequency of your voice. And there's another video that I'm going to be uploading that's a little bit more deeply involved on that particular topic. But I have to be very, very mindful. So we speak in codes in this season, chosen. So the GOV and all of these particular systems that have been placed, strategically to maintain control and power, everybody is being exposed. And during this period, a lot of people are having a lot of questions like, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I turn to? What is the truth? Because I was told that, if I just did the right thing, if I voted every year, if I, paid my tithes every Sunday, if I was a good citizen, if I, kept paying my taxes and XYZ, that I was, and if I kept praying to Jesus, that I was in alignment with, moving towards the pearly gates. Now everything is being exposed from top to bottom. The tower is falling, and it's falling fast, faster than these people had the opportunity to process it and digest it. For those of you who have been awakened, you've had time to process, digest, go through those different phases of grieving, the anger, the fear, whatever it is, the different stages of grieving that you had to go through when you had to cut the cords with the beast of Babylon, when you came to realize that the matrix was one big illusion, one big stage play used to keep the masses asleep and in the state of being walking zombies, puppets that could be manipulated, pawns that would be played on a chessboard that was easily disposable. You had time to sit with that, to melanate, to let that marinate. And so now that these things are coming forward, many of you out there, it's like, shit, I already knew that. I already knew that was coming. I told you. I mean, I've been trying to tell you. But even for those of us who've already known it, I can't be the only one, y'all. I can't be the only one that feels this righteous indignation. And y'all, I try to control my fire because y'all know my fire is like, ooh, when I get into that energy of passion, it's loud, it's hot. But I'm sure that many of you are feeling that righteous indignation, that royal voice that says, off with their heads, okay? This ain't no loving light prayers of kumbaya and, oh, yeah. It's a big bird that's flying right now, a loner bird. You're not saying kumbaya. You're not saying, well, let's just pray for them, the wicked. Let's just pray that they'll have a change of heart and that they'll feel the energy of love and light. No. This is the type of energy where you're like, let them burn. I want utter and swift destruction that is painful, is scorching, but I need them off the face of this earth. Every single being that exists, human or not, it must go. That has been operating in this level of wickedness, they must go. This is the very energy that has been tilting the scales of humanity to the point where there has been no balance. Not even for nature. Nature has not found rest since these beings have crawled on their bellies onto the face of this earth. There has been no rest. And it's time now, y'all. It's one thing to know the truth in your soul. It's another thing to see the physical evidence. We are not only the true speakers, but we're the spiritual warriors out here, y'all. And we can't just go out and lay hands in a 3D. We got to lay spiritual hands in the spiritual realm, and y'all know what that means. This is the time when, busting out black candles, okay, busting out black candles. We pulling out the herbs. We doing earth magic, fire magic, water magic, wind magic. We calling on all the elements, earth, wind, water, fire, universal, elemental, cosmic spirits of love and righteous war. We're calling on every single divine being. It's time to throw these spiritual hands. And this is the type of rituals that's not singing kumbaya. No, this is destruction and chaos, specifically targeting these beings who have been operating in this manner. Now consider, everybody ain't foot soldiers out here in the spiritual realm. Some people are meant to stay on the side of kumbaya. Let's just send them love. I kind of question those who feel the need to do that towards these beings. I have to be honest with you, but maybe it's just not their position to be in war mode and to throw spiritual hands right now. I don't know. If you feel like spiritual hands need to be thrown, leave me some hand emojis or something, because I can't be the only one who is feeling like this is the type of energy that requires rituals of destruction. The Most High Mother and Father has placed within us the authority to shift the narrative of this 3D experience. And a lot of people feel like they're supposed to just passively say, oh, it'll be handled. I don't need to do anything. It'll be handled. Those people who toss their hands up and say they don't need to do anything are the ones who are taking a back seat while the real foot soldiers have been throwing spiritual hands. Y'all know we've been throwing spiritual hands on this channel. We've been calling out the powers that were. We've been doing rituals so that they will be exposed and that so that their empire will come crumbling down. We've been doing rituals to cut cords, to cut contracts, to remove our energy, that umbilical cord that the beast of Babylon had to our energy that kept it alive. We've been doing this. And so those beings that's been sitting back talking about, oh, well, Jesus will handle it. We're waiting for Jesus to return. Or whoever it is, whatever they've been waiting on to absolve this or to balance the scales, they don't realize that you, chosen, are the very beings that have been assigned to call judgment and to bring this destruction. They don't even realize it. And it's not for you to seek any sort of accolades or recognition for what you're doing, because the Most High Mother and Father, they acknowledge what you do because they molded and shaped you to do what you do. But at the end of the day, y'all, there's a lot of people out here whose heads are spinning. They're going through psychosis. They're going through fear, anxiety, paranoia, you name it. They are experiencing it and they don't know who to turn to. And this is why you have been getting prepared for quite some time now to step into your calling. We've been talking a lot about all hands on deck. Okay? Stepping into our divine mission to do exactly what we have been called to do, largely because when this time rolled around, there's going to be many people seeking out those of you who have had knowledge about this, who are not afraid to go down the rabbit's hole, who are not afraid to speak certain truths, those of you who have the gifts of healing, those of you who have the gifts to be able to redirect people, to help them to better understand what they're dealing with, how to navigate all of these different things. Your presence, your gifts and abilities are very much so needed times 1,000 right now. And that's why there's been this huge war to keep people under the impression that everything about your spiritual journey is wicked. Because the powers that were never wanted you to find your voice. They never wanted you to come into remembrance of divine truth. They never wanted you to clear your temple and to heal yourself enough to be that very vessel that could hear those divine messages, that very vessel that would be able to see into the spiritual realm beyond what was being shown in this matrix. They wanted you to stay in your lower nature. They wanted you to stay in your carnal nature, and that's why they fed it to you. Anything that the powers that were give you too much of, it's always that very thing that's going to keep you trapped in the matrix. Just look around. Look around. They give you too much of what? They have fast food restaurants on every corner, right? They have churches on every corner, right? They have banks on every corner, right? They have sex and everything, right? They have... So anything to keep you overly fixated on your lower nature, on materialism, on pleasing yourself through some sort of temporary means of pleasure, it's always been the perfect distraction, y'all. Another thing that I want to mention as well, though, is that you have one side of the fence of people who are like literally going through it because they're suddenly being jolted out of sleep in a very harsh and scary way. But then you have another side that is very detached from what's going on right now. Okay. I know for you all chosen, y'all are right there in the middle because you already knew what was going on. It is affecting you. You feel it, right? Because you're empaths. You feel it. You're compassionate beings. But then you have another side that's very detached. Those are the ones that concern me. Because the people that are very detached about what's coming forward right now are the ones that have been way too desensitized to death, to murder, to human sacrifice. And you know why or how they became desensitized? Through all of the movies and television shows. Let me know in the comments section, have you become far less tolerant to watching people's lives get taken in movies and TV shows? Are you to the point now where you're like, I don't even want to see that? Why would I want to watch every action film? Everybody is getting gunned down, right? It's blood everywhere. Every horror film, everybody is getting something chopped off. Everybody is something gory or crazy happening, right? Yes, in every horror film, something is happening. In every drama, it's a trauma that's being re-inflicted. Please recognize that all of that was a part of the entire mission to not only keep you detached and desensitized, but to also keep you in that space of entertainment. Because one thing about many of these so-called wealthy individuals is that they had so much fiat. They had so much fiat and so-called power that it perverted them, or they were already perverted before they even got it though, but it perverted them to the point where they would pay for these types of things to unfold in real time while you were sitting back watching it on your TV screen, being entertained by it. They was paying to have these things happen in real time, in real life. So situations such as that was all a part of the agenda, because like the series or the movies such as like the what's the movie called, Squid Games, that particular movie was a lot of wealthy people that was paying to see the gory nature of murder right there, right? They got their popcorn, they set it up, and it was like a whole movie for them to watch these people torture each other. And you think these things haven't been happening in real time? And another thing that you also may want to consider is that now that it's being highlighted that many of these wealthy people are very obsessed with having cameras everywhere, right? Everywhere. They said that the Epstein creature had cameras even inside of his toilets. So you know there was cameras everywhere else. They are fixated on watching gory, wicked, perverted things unfold in real time. So rather than paying to see something that's supposed to be fictional, they pay to see it happen in real life. It's like watching sitting at a theater, like a real life play. Except for it's happening for real. So now you want to ask yourself, well, hold on. All of these gory movies that you've been watching, these horror films that you've been watching, these so-called action thrillers where everybody is getting gunned down that you've been watching, can you really discern what was playing out for real? Because these beings have been recording these things. Were some of these scenes real life situations and you were sitting there watching it, entertained by it, detached and desensitized to it? This entire system has been hijacked by beings, soulless beings. Hijacked by soulless beings. And so it's very, very important. If you find yourself still drawn to those types of things, it's time for you to withdraw and really evaluate, why are you so desensitized to seeing people killed, harmed in gory ways? Why are you so desensitized to that to where you can watch it for 2 hours? What is it about horror that calls you in? It's a lot that's unfolding right now. And I really strongly suggest that you ground yourself in every measure possible, because we have not seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. Imagine all of the uproar that's getting ready to happen when names begin to drop. When people begin to realize that this was far more spiritual than they thought, and that the God that they was told to serve is directly connected to the powers that were. Wait until they find out. Yes, we are focused on our missions, right? Our purpose. We are focused on creating generational wealth for our children because the narratives are shifting. Okay? The power is being turned over to the rightful owners, those of us who are divine beings, soulful beings, who are connected to the Most High Mother and Father, that understand the point, the purpose of maintaining peace over in humanity and being righteous, self-governing beings, right? The power is shifting back to the royalty bloodline, which is us. So we have to remain focused on doing what we need to do in order to shift this. But at the same time, y'all, this is not going to be an easy transition. I just have to say it. It's not an easy transition, because the compassion in your heart, it's, but we're not doing it without the right arsenal. We have the tools. We have the tools. We are not fighting in the 3D. This is a spiritual warfare. And these beings have already lost their footing. But consider, the beast of Babylon does not go down without a fight now. So let me know what you all have to add to any portion of what I have mentioned here today. We will have a lot more discussions like this. I'm definitely going to come on, like I said, and I'm going to return to doing the readings, but I got so much on my heart, y'all, that I just have to express it. And y'all know on this channel, you cannot just expect me to pull cards. You can't just expect that, okay? So we will talk soon. Like, subscribe, hype the message, leave a comment below. You can always get personal readings by me, okay? If you feel like there's certain things going on and you just need some guidance, you need someone to listen, you need some advice, you need to dive deeper, book your personal reading with me, okay? Because I understand that right now, this is not an easy time to navigate for many. That's my message for you all. I'll talk to you soon.